Hello and welcome everybody. It's the Basketball Show. I'm Steve Carfino. We're bringing in the year 2019 with a bang. That worked in the rehearsal. Clearly didn't work live. Let me thank all the sponsors first. I'd like to thank Unibet. They seem to get my money every single time. They are very rarely wrong. Alcatel, they're giving out the goodies. Thanks to them, I got myself a little tablet, get all my information right in front of me here. News Corp, Daily Telegraph, my man Tim Morrissey calling the shots there. All things that are basketball. He seems to manage to get it all in there. And Shane, what are some of the things that we're going to talk about today? I think it's Under the Hammers first.
Oh, we got lots, mate. I got to take the hat off for this because Under the Hammer up early. Actually, I feel bad, mate, because Under the Hammer this week, we've got the WNBL. I've got 3 daughters. I've got one daughter in the WNBL, and I love it. And we've got some of the best players in the world playing in that competition. But the big problem I've got and why they're under the hammer this week is it's 2019 and we've got no streaming. No streaming, mate. I want to sit back. I want to be able to watch these women play and admire the skills that they've got, but I just can't do it, mate. 1 game a week on Fox. The same time as when the men play, I want streaming, Steve.
I find it hard to believe that there are leagues all around Australia, the QBL, the Waratah League this year will be live streaming for the first time. All of their games, every single game. I find it hard that the National League here in Australia, who has great players, come back to play in this league. We're like the second best country in the world and can't get our games on live.
It's like a secret. It's a secret. We need to promote these women. We need to be able to promote their sponsors and the people that support women's basketball. So this week, the WNBL, you are under the hammer.
Well, it's time for our stroke of the week. As a matter of fact, I got off pretty light with the hammer. I rocked a singlet. I'm way over 40. I didn't, looking back at the footage, I really didn't make it look as good as I thought it did. It was a good idea at the time.
Blanket rule, T-shirts underneath jerseys, mate.
Okay,
so let's go with the stroke. It's not all about you, Steve, all right? The stroke of the week this week is for Adam Gibson. 400 games. And he's the sort of player who won't always show up on the stats because he's not a guy that will get a whole lot of stats. Assist to turnover ratio is off the charts. He can make shots, all the rest of it. But he's the sort of teammate you want to play with because he does all of the intangibles. And I tell you, if it wasn't for Damian Martin, I'm the president of Damian Martin Fan Club, a 6-time all defender, I reckon Adam Gibson would have been able to get 6 times as well if Damian Martin's not there because he has been a great defender throughout his career.
And what does it take to play 400? I mean, 400 games in this league, this is a tough competition. You always have those young guys coming back from college, trying to get back into it. So to be an established player, to be a starter for that long, he's really talented.
Yeah, well, you've got to be durable as well. He's had a few calf injuries, but he's looked after himself. He's a real pro. I think he can play another couple of seasons, and obviously his role will continue to diminish the older he gets, but I think he's just so valuable around the locker room, his experience and mindset. He's such an intelligent basketballer, so for me that's a massive effort, 400 games.
And what about a guy, so you're a star player and he went and he was recruited by the Dragons to go in there, they won a championship, and he's got that under his belt as well as a championship as a young player for the Brisbane Bullets, but the ability to take a serious role, I shouldn't say a serious role, but like a starting role or a starring role to being more of a role player and being a team leader.
Well, I think that's just being able to evolve as you continue to age, and that's his intelligence. He's been able to do that, and he's done it so well. And I think he'll help whoever he plays for moving forward be successful.
All right, Adam Gibson, you have just been stroked. Next up, let me check out my Alcatel tablet here. Where are we going next?
Mate, we're going with a new segment, mate. Carfino's call. So it's on you, mate. I'm doing all the work. Come on, what do you got?
Okay, well, when it comes to things that bother me, one of them is when guys close out to a non-shooter. And it's not just the players. The coaches have to make these guys accountable. I'm going at all the coaches who allow somebody to close out to a non-shooter or to rotate off of a shooter onto a non-shooter and not pull their ass out of the game when they do that. I got to make those guys accountable. You played for Brian Goorjian. Brian Goorjian's teams never did that.
Never did, but it was even harder playing against Brian Goorjian's teams because if you're in the corner and Jason Smith's got you and there's an open man, he would just stunt at that person but never give a shooter an open shot, and Brian kept everybody accountable. He was fantastic.
Well, I got a two-part rant because I want to make these coaches accountable for a lot of things. You know, I sit there and watch Mike Kelly's timeouts. He's talking about, all right, or I should say press conference, we're doing all the little things well. You know, they've lost 13 games in a row. Is it 13 or is it 14? I don't know. It's a lot. They lost a lot of games in a row. You know, don't be nice to these guys. I watch Perth. They're late to the ball. They give up in transition. They don't trail and get pieces of the basketball and deflections. He needs to be killing these guys. And I think the toughest thing, Phil Jackson was a great coach because he was able to get all of that talent. Say like the Sydney Kings, lots of talent. Right now, they're winning right now. They drop a couple of games. These guys start arguing. Is Andrew Gay going to be able to keep that talent going in the same direction? It's a big responsibility for the coaches, and I don't know if these guys are up to it. I tell you what, Joey Wright is. He makes his guys accountable. Ask Demetrius Conga. That's a hell of a rant. That's a two-part rant. How's that? Just making that, making it up on the spot.
That is Carfino's call.
Next up, I just want to talk. I think finally got that thing working. Next, I want to talk about Twitter. You know, I don't really understand Twitter. I don't put a whole lot on there. But one thing I do is I follow you, I follow Lockie Reed, and I follow Homicide. And you and Lockie Reed been, you know, locking horns a little bit.
No, it's all about the Perth Wildcats. See, now, sometimes, and we love Lockie.
Yeah.
All right, but he's through and through the Perth Wildcats, the Red Army. He's the leader, I think. But I've actually been complimentary of Perth, saying that they've actually stacked their team in a way where they were getting to Christmas and working out, do we have enough, or do we want to use this third import spot? That's like a bit of gold over here that they're not even using yet. So I think they're perfectly placed. Like he said to me in the media, oh, why aren't you on Melbourne United? They've lost 2 of their last 3 home games. Well, Melbourne United don't have an import spot up. They've got no gold over here that they can just make a change. So I think the Perth Wildcats are in a perfect position. They've got some people on the bench that are really struggling. Wagstaff, Hire, Vague are really struggling. So, you know, they need to be able to bring in a little bit more arsenal.
Yeah, is it that their core group is aging a little bit? And I'm surprised at how Wagstaff's numbers are really down. I mean, Hire's 4 for 21 from the three-point line, but I'm really surprised at Wagstaff. Lack of production.
Yeah, definitely. And Tariko White, I mean, he's been great at stages, but gee, his 3-point percentage at the moment is 27%, and that's what he does. It's not like he does a whole lot of other things. It's not like he's a great rebounder, a great defender, or he's creating for anyone else. So if he's not putting the ball in the hole, and I'm not sure they need to get rid of him because he's a nice little piece as well, but I just think they need to be able to bring something else in to give themselves a legitimate chance to be able to compete with these teams for a championship. With
all the ingredients there in Perth, really pulled the trigger with Bryce Cotton really late. They were lucky that he was, you know, such an integral part of them. He came in just wheels rolling and hot, and they went on a tear. You know, but why do you think the Perth Wildcats wait so long? I can't help but think it's a little bit of arrogance. They think that they've made the playoffs for so long, it automatically happens. This league's too good for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's arrogance or they're a little bit stubborn or whatever, so I'll be interested to see whether they actually make this happen, but there's something there that they're always a little bit late in being able to pull the trigger, because I think they've set their season up perfectly with what they've got to make this move. And there's a lot of Red Army fans that contact me and actually agree.
When I was a kid, I dreamed of getting on Faces in the Crowd. It was a little back page on the Sports Illustrated magazine, national magazine. Of course, that's a big player in sports over in America. But who is our Alcatel player of the game?
You wouldn't have got an Alcatel if you got on that. We've got Nate Ellis. Check out this. And he's shown that he can defensively, he can get a little steal action here and then dribble it down. And how's that for a little bit of range? If you don't mind, bang for Nate.
Nate Ellis, you are Alcatel Superstar of the Week. And now it's time for our Unibet game preview. And our first game is Cairns versus Brisbane.
Do I poke you?
No.
Is that why Nathan's not here? He's scared. Don't poke me.
No, you can't poke me, especially not on behalf of Nathan.
All right. Cairns versus Brisbane. Let's just move straight on. Brisbane 11+. They will get it done.
Yeah, word is that Brisbane is going to announce their new import. Looking forward to that. And they could use it because they're trying to make a championship run. Adelaide versus New Zealand. Again,
Adelaide 11 plus. Again, I've spoken about the fact that you just can't rate New Zealand. They've got all the pieces there, but they just can't pull it together. Adelaide are coming. They are making a serious run for this top 4.
All right. The Battle of New South Wales, the Illawarra Hawks against the Sydney Kings.
Well, Illawarra played much better at home, we know that. But the Sydney Kings are just too strong, and I think they're really going to be able to really lock them down at the defensive end. So I'll go the Kings 1-10.
All right. Like that margin. All right. And man, New Zealand versus the Perth Wildcats.
Wow, let's see whether Perth finally brings somebody in. But that would be a game that they're going to have to win. New Zealand obviously are playing better at home, but I'm still going to go for Perth 1-10.
All right. I reckon the more we criticize them, the more they won't pull the trigger on the import. That's if, we're giving ourselves a lot of self-importance, like they're going to make their decisions on us. Brisbane hosts the Melbourne United boys.
I'm going Brisbane. I just like what they're doing. I know they stubbed their toe a little bit to the Sydney Kings, but they've had good success against Melbourne United, and I'm going to pick Brisbane 1-10.
All right. And rounding that one up, Cairns versus the Sydney Kings. Kings hitting the road.
Well, I've already beaten them once up there so far this season, the Sydney Kings, and I think they'll get this done again. And I'm going to go 11 plus because the confidence has to be dwindling.
Yeah, well, do you think that Cairns is going to get another win?
I think they will. I think they'll surprise somebody somehow. But, I think they'll win another game or two.
All right, in the spirit of Nathan, can we talk a little bit about the WNBL?
Well, Sydney play against Dandenong. Let's just go 11 plus because Sydney are bad.
All right.
They're really bad.
I don't have much in my notes here. You got any more games?
No more games there. Let's get on to the NBA, hey?
All right, NBA, San Antonio Spurs, and they host the Toronto Raptors.
Well, Toronto's been missing a couple of players, a couple of their stars, which has really hurt some of their results, even though they're the best team in the East. I'm going to go San Antonio at home. We're playing some good basketball, 1-10 for a little bit of an upset.
All right. Cleveland hosts Utah, Joe Ingles and the boys.
Well, Utah has been so up and down, so hard to pick, because one game they'll play really well, then the next game they'll beat a superstar team in Golden State or whoever, and the next game they look really bad. I'll pick them to be able to beat our man Daly in Cleveland, and I'll pick them 11 plus.
All right. 76ers, the boys from Philly, host the Dallas Mavericks. I love my boy Luka.
Oh, how good is Luka? Oh, my goodness, what he can do.
Did you hear what Draymond Green said about him? He was like, that boy got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about his English and the way he worded it, but he's got it.
I know what he meant. You can describe it better than anyone. So, no, he is a superstar. But Philly are good at home, and I think they'll win that game 1-10. It'll be probably a high-scoring game. That'll be a good game to watch.
All right, Minnesota, and you get a little sentimental, and Minnesota are hosting the LA Lakers. That's my team.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love Minnesota. Just don't like the weather, so I like watching it from my lounge room in summer. But I'll go Minnesota 1-10 to take on the Lakers. I'm not sure when LeBron's back, so drinking his red wine and stuff as he walks in.
Yeah, I know, getting in the festive spirit. Those are Unibet previews. One of my favorite segments, I love them all, but this is one of my favorite segments. Starting five, let's start with Andrew Bogut. What a monster he had. Andrew Bogut, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks. That is a whopper.
Well, and you and I spoke from the very start of the season that you're not always going to judge Andrew Bogut on his statistics. He said that. But I think you can at stages as well. We know he can have a big impact, but those stats have only been done when you throw in the fact he had no turnovers to go with those 5 assists and the 4 blocks, 12 rebounds, 14 points. It's only ever been done. That was the 3rd time ever in the history of the sport. So he is just absolutely dominating the game right now and has to be in the top 3 or 4 for MVP.
Okay, well, I got right here the Brisbane's new import. We'll discuss that one right now. But let me talk about Corey Homicide Williams. I love him. I follow him on social media, but didn't he say, give him a contract, Jeremy Kindle?
Yeah.
He had a good game, had 13. He can kind of jump to conclusions really quickly.
Well, I think he had 13 points, but he's had 13 in total in the next 4 games. But I think he's going to be up and down. That's why it's really important with this new import that they nail it. Somebody that really can contribute on a consistent basis. So they're going to play minutes, but they're going to need somebody that can rebound as well.
All right. Adelaide, are they on the roll now? Jacob Wiley, he's hooping. I always wonder sometimes after he gets a dunk and then just hollers at the crowd, where is this man in transition?
Don't worry about that, mate. It's about TV. It's about the emotion. We want to see that from Wiley. And they have got as much talent as anybody, but there was something missing. I was questioning whether it was leadership or what it was. Only a couple of weeks ago, they've strung some together now, and they are coming. They are tall. We know how they want to run in transition, and it looks like it's starting to click. Whether they've got enough or whether they're going to do enough to be able to make it's yet to be seen.
Okay. Who do you think the best import in the league is right now?
Well, you only have to listen to my commentating, mate, and you know that I love Lamar Patterson. Now his dog's gone, he has just been unbelievable and doing everything. And I just think because he's so versatile about being able to defend multiple positions, I think is the key. And he can play 1 through 4 on offense as well. So I think he's something special. I think he'll continue to get better as the season goes on. But, mate, I'm going to flip it around to you. Who's your best import?
Oh, you know it's going to be a point guard, and I'm going for the excitement factor. Jerome Randall. I mean, did you see that move that he had against Brisbane? Behind the back, Hezzy went up underneath, reverse layup. It is as good as you get, and the Sydney Kings are rolling right now because he is impossible to guard.
I think he's also bought into the fact that he wants to win a championship, but it's not all about stats for him right now. I've got a couple more for you. Whose hair would you rather wear? Brian Bowen's or mine? You really rock Bowens, mate. You rock Bowens.
This is the easiest decision I've ever had to make on this show. I'm going to go with yours. Yours is that blonde or gray? I'm not quite sure.
Mixture,
that's closer to mine.
I've got a bit of dark in here.
See, that goes well with my coffee with cream complexion. I got a little bit of a tan I'm rocking right now. I'm going to go with that. Brian Bowen's hair would look ridiculous on me.
Okay. And have you got anybody this year that should make a resolution or anything like that?
Well, I'm going to make a blanket resolution for all the officials in the league. It's okay every now and then to say, you know what, Coach, I missed that one, you know. But I'm not perfect. I can, you know, I'll get most of them right.
Okay. Any others?
Probably Andrew Gaze. You know, I've got like 3 questions lined up for him, and I never get to 2 or 3.
Good luck. You're not getting a second one. God love you, Drewy. Don't change. We love you. Just let's get a second one.
Please. And that's about it. Thanks for joining the show, The Basketball Show. Bringing in that thing in it. That thing is not, it's not a pressure horn. Under pressure, it doesn't perform. But we've got all kind of great stuff coming for you on the new year. The Basketball Show will cover it. I'd like to thank our sponsors, of course, Unibet. I've got a couple of games I got in mind. I think I'm actually going to win some money on you guys this week. Alcatel, of course, for all of their great goodies. Thanks again for my tablet. News Corp, the Daily Telegraph, and all their associate publications all around Australia. I think that pretty much.
And a big thank you to you guys for everything this year. The show has been fantastic, and it's all to the support we've got from the fans. Keep the banter going. We love it. We throw these things out and love getting the feedback about whether you agree with us or don't agree with us. That's okay.
Well, that was my hammering, and all you people out there on Twitter and social media, keep giving it to Shane. He's opinionated, and he loves it.
Don't give it to me. It's a bit of love every now and again. But Happy New Year, everyone. See you in 2019.